Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to say that I recently purchased a GoPro and thought that the base plate that comes in the box would be useful to make a magnetized mount. So this is my video on how to make this magnetized mount. I only had one go because I only had one base plate, so please check it out and let me know what you think. Firstly, you're going to need the base plate that comes in the box and a very strong magnet. This one holds up to 2 kilograms, some old ice cream sticks and 2 strips of card. Grab the strips of cardboard and slide them under the clips. You may notice that there are holes under the clips, and this card is just to block those holes because you're going to fill glue from the bottom and you don't want the glue coming through to the top. The 2 wooden sticks are just to hold it in place tightly without having to glue the strips themselves. It's just something that I thought fitted well and used them. You could block from the bottom, but I think that blocking from the top would give it slightly more strength. That's just something I considered. So once you've done that, you turn it over and you work from the bottom. Now the magnet fits nicely in there, but there is a little bump that just needs to be cleaned up. You need that magnet sitting firmly and you need it below the ridge. I've decided to use my Dremel with a sanding disc, and I'm going to go in from the top because coming in from the side is just not going to give it flush. It's just not long enough. So going in from the top will just give me that much more control. And I just thought before I actually go on the thing, just test the plastic to make sure that it's not going to damage it completely, and then just slowly sand that bump away, and also the number so that it's all smooth inside there with no ridges. Now that it's smooth, you can put the magnet in and just check that it is below the ridge, and I want it below the ridge because I don't want it scratching anything that I put it on, maybe a car or something like that. So this card is just to check that it's not sticking above that line, and then you apply the little glue from the glue gun and maybe make it smoother than that. So I'm just going to smear it out a bit just so that it doesn't take up space, because that glue dries very quickly when it hits the magnet because of the cold magnet. So you could maybe heat up the magnet first, but I didn't. I just smeared it out, put the magnet on, and it dries almost instantly. Then you just go ahead and fill hot glue all around the magnet until that entire cavity is filled, and actually put glue on top of the magnet too, just to make sure that it's totally covered and totally encased in the bottom. It must be pretty hot glue, and it just forms a liquid and levels out nicely. And just take your time, make sure that it's filling nicely and leveling out and not going to overflow. And then just make sure you cover the magnet. And then let it set. Now it does take some time to set, so make sure it is fully set, because the next thing is we're going to be cutting the glue, and we want that fully set before we cut. So now that it's fully set, I take a sharp box knife and just remove the excess glue that's bulging out at the bottom. Try and go as level as possible. Don't expose the magnet. Just keep that film. Just level it out nicely. This part is probably the most difficult part because you've only got one chance at cutting this out. You don't want to damage the top. You just want to slowly cut around it, leaving a couple millimeters so that it doesn't cut or damage the top. And slowly just cut around it until that entire piece is loose from the base plate. Once it's loose, you just take the sanding disc and you sand the edges, the couple millimeters you've left. You just continue to sand around and make sure that you're smoothing it off nicely. And then these pieces of cardboard you just pull off. Yes, there will be some cardboard at the top, just take a knife and remove them. I wasn't too worried about the top because that will wear off over time. You can use a blowtorch just to smooth off the bottom and make it shiny again, and just, you know, make it cleaner.